Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how to build a website. It's actually a lot simpler than you think. You may be starting out your business and you know that a website is crucial, in this time, but you don't necessarily want to kind of give it to an agency to build. It might be out of your budget, but it's quite simple. So we're actually going to go over that today and starting with the template, so what you should be looking into, and also some tips for you to get started and kind of start building the website the right way. So without further ado, let's start with the template. So nowadays, a lot of these CMSs, content management systems like Duda, or a more popular one would be WordPress.org. But whichever CMS or whichever platform you go with, they're typically going to have templates. And what this is it's already kind of a layout that you can kind of just swap your own content, your own text, your own images, and it's a lot simpler this way. It's also very simple if you kind of aren't that creative and you can't really think of the layout of your website. I know that's very difficult for me, so these templates are really great. And in addition, a lot of platforms are also give you categories. So, for example, if you're a restaurant owner, you might just want to look into all your options instead of the restaurant and have different options there. And then here at the bottom, you'll see a one pager. If you think this is kind of like a simpler route just to build one page, I would think about this just because you do want, especially if you have multiple services, for example, um, you don't want to cram everything on one page just because Google prefers to rank each page by keywords, but we'll kind of go into that as we talk here. So, uh, things to keep in mind is not really what you think. Maybe you're thinking of, oh, okay, I want my website to look really cool, but instead you kind of want to think of your target audience, right? Is it a younger demographic? Is it an older demographic? Um, do people typically need to see a lot of images, or in comparison, do they need to read a lot of information? So you want to keep these things in mind as you look at these templates and kind of see, am I going to be needing a lot of more images? Am I going to need a lot of video or things like that? So you kind of start thinking as you look at these templates. And as we scroll down, for example, let's look into the Gardener one just because I had already clicked it. So the cool thing about this platform is that it tells you, or it shows you how it'll look on desktop, how it'll look on a tablet, which is usually quite similar to desktop, but then mobile, right? So that's another key thing. Um, Things look very different from desktop to mobile, so you have to keep that in mind. For example, if in this template, you'll see that this image here on mobile, the man gets kind of cut out. So if you're looking at these templates and you don't have images just yet, here you can kind of get an idea on how you should be taking your photos, etc. So just a few things to keep in mind. For example, here, as you see here, there's specialties. There's 6 different services or options, but on mobile, you kind of see one by one. So, if you have like 20 services, mobile will probably be a hassle just to go all the way down. So it's just little things like that to keep in mind. And you can always change templates, but I always say, try and start off with the best foot forward. And then after you kind of chose your template, you kind of want to think about what pages you're going to want to have on your website. Now, this is kind of goes back to the point where I was saying, I don't really recommend a one pager, but a thing to do is kind of, create a spreadsheet and kind of separate the columns like this, right? So first we have our navigation, and this is typically your navigation menu. So if we go back here, you'll see this is what I'm talking about. You have your home page, your about us, your services, things like that. So this is what the people are going to be able to see and click on. Next is a folder. So a folder is usually when you have pages inside of a folder. For example, you've probably seen this right here. You see those. So whenever you see like a drop down, this is usually a folder, and the pages here are the pages after that folder. So these are the things to keep in mind. For example, here you have services, and then under services you have each page or each service, and this is just so you can kind of keep looking at how your URL will look. And what I was talking about earlier in terms of you want each page to be keyword specific. This is just because search engines prefer one page to be about one topic. So if you have everything on one page, if you have lawn maintenance, if you have natural fences, it'll be hard for you to rank for these on Google. And that's kind of the end goal. You want your website to work for itself. So here, this is a good practice for you to kind of stay focused on what each page should focus on. And then if you're able to find the monthly volume for this, this is great. It'll just kind of give you an estimate of how many people are searching for this and your goals. And then this last column here would be your related keywords. So this will help you when you're brainstorming and when you're writing your content for you to remember to add this keyword in your content, and everything revolving around that, but you also have to add some variations of that keyword, right? So we have whatever city you're going to work on, or your business is located, plus your keyword, but then you have these different ones. Are you residential, are you commercial, things like that. And so still with the organizing, you have your sheet here with your kind of your pages, but then I also recommend you create a document to start drafting the content that's going to be in each one of these pages. And the reason I kind of do that is because, for example, here with this CMS, you have like a 14-day free period, or free trial period. So you kind of want to take advantage of this and have your website ready on those 14 days so you can launch it and have the uh, work your money that way. So what I just suggest here is, for example, in a document you can say, okay, this is under my services, this is my lawn maintenance page. So for example here, you can scroll down, click on lawn maintenance, and then you see an image here. You kind of want to get that ready and say, okay, this is my header image, I'm going to place it here, this is what's going to go on top. And then you have your first paragraph here. This is my H1 or my main header, and this is what I'm going to use here. So lawn maintenance and your city, and then your subheader, which is under that. So you can always not use that, whatever you want, but this is just for you to have everything ready so that when you have all your pages and your documents full, it's just going to be copying and pasting, right? So here you have your subheader and then your text. So you want to keep doing that for everything and have all your content ready. This may take longer than 14 days once you start. So it's a good way to kind of not pressure yourself and do things right. So again, a recap, how to build your website. First, don't think you need to start from scratch. A lot of places already have templates. So, get inspired. It doesn't have to be in your category. Just, as long as you have a vision for it, you'll know when you see it. From there, you can start organizing your content. So make sure you know what pages you're going to use for. Try and create one page for each service. That way you can focus on it put as much content as you need for each. And then after that, you want to start thinking of what content is going to go in each page and have it ready on a document. So at the end of the day, after you choose your template and you start your trial, it's just, copying and pasting. And you also have page builders. So these page builders will make it easy for you to move things around. You don't really need to do any coding anymore, specifically if you're keeping everything simple. So that's a quick way on how to start with your website. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.